What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering. Hope you're having an absolutely wonderful day. And of course, people are upset, as always, in particular, weirdo lefties and people that just don't like MrBeast. Now, there's very little to argue about in terms of the amount of good that MrBeast has done. That is not invalidated by the amount of money he's made. Some people think it works that way, but it doesn't. MrBeast has helped a lot of people. Sure, sometimes it's to a greater extent than others, but it seems now the popular thing to do every time MrBeast helps somebody is to have an absolute meltdown about it and try to smear his name and call him things like white savior and others. This particular latest outrage does seem to have a little bit more teeth to it than normal, which we're going to check out after a super quick word from this video's sponsor, Private Internet Access. Huge shout out to this video's sponsor, Private Internet Access. Look, it's 2023. If you don't have a VPN, you're missing out on a ton of benefits. Not just a more secure connection, but if you're paying for Netflix, Disney Plus, or any other streaming service, you're already getting locked out of a ton of additional content that you could be enjoying if you used a VPN. And since they've been sponsoring the channel so long, they've rolled out a massive discount for my viewers. That's right, 84% off plus 4 months free. It's $2.03 a month, 4 months free, 84% off. Private Internet Access also offers privacy on all your devices, lightning fast global server network. And look, outside of all the additional content you're going to be able to view out there using Private Internet Access, it also has a strict no logs policy. It's open source. It has state-of-the-art updates. It's instant to set up. You can put it on all of your devices, your tablet, your computer, your mobile phones. It has unlimited bandwidth and so much more. If you don't have a VPN yet, make today the day. Use my link in the description to get Private Internet Access, start being more secure, and unlock loads more content. Exclusive! MrBeast slammed as white savior by charities over viral orphanage video amid claims YouTuber ignored pleas to help rehome the children instead. MrBeast has been branded a white savior by charities over a viral video in which he boasts of rebuilding an African orphanage despite a global campaign to shut them down. The world's richest YouTuber allegedly ignored pleas from humanitarian groups to stop his philanthropic stunt amid concerns that orphanages are a haven for terrible behavior. MrBeast instead plowed millions of dollars into filming the reconstruction of an orphanage in South Africa. His video showing the transformation of the building alongside smiling children garnered more than 7 million views in YouTube in under a week. Well, he probably lost money on that, to be honest with you. What's interesting is, a lot of these quote-unquote humanitarian quote-unquote charities are also rife with corruption. It's become an entire business to rate charities and humanitarian groups based on how much money or how many of those resources actually reach the people in need. And in some cases, it's as little as a penny or two per dollar that actually make it to the people in need. So I don't know, pardon me if I don't take a lot of stock in the other quote-unquote humanitarian groups. Now, that does not discount that there is, their point that these buildings can have these issues. It has sparked accusations from charity Hope and Homes for Children that the stunt was simply a ploy for more views. Well, I mean, the orphans still got their home. I'm not really sure. I mean, literally everything that MrBeast does is a quote-unquote ploy for views. It is their entire career. They don't say that when people make movies or documentaries or cover the quote-unquote news, and in some cases create the news. The movement to end orphanages worldwide and find families for children instead is backed by the UN, EU, Commonwealth, and South African government. In 2019, the UN General Assembly resolution on rights of child urged member states to progressively replace orphanages with quality alternative care such as foster networks, which everyone knows there's no problems at all with, and social workers, which everyone knows are better than police. Look, I understand that the long-term solution is not to house parentless children in some house. I get that. But at the end of the day, where are the parents? Do you have parents for all these kids currently? It would appear not. It would appear as though you don't, as there is still clearly a need for an orphanage here. The money that MrBeast put into this hopefully will raise enough awareness that people will adopt these kids. It's easy to say that this is the best overall solution and have a problem with interim solutions. It's easy to do that. But in the meantime, kids still need homes, right? Lorenza Foghill from Hope and Homes for Children said MrBeast had chosen to, quote, completely ignore these voices despite the charity contacting him in March. How did they contact him? A certified letter? Did MrBeast even get it? Did you just tweet at him on Twitter? Is this a PR stunt for your charity? Maybe you have all these kids' best intentions in mind, but if there's kids to fill the orphanage, then why are you trying to stop him? Did you want the money instead? Did you want MrBeast to give you money instead? Shortly after he released a video appealing for donations to his orphanage project, that was when they contacted, she added, "Is it a classic case of white saviorism? Arguably, yes. But one thing is for sure, MrBeast is denying the so-called orphans from this town their right to grow up in a family." Literally what? Literally what? In what way whatsoever does building an orphanage stop somebody from adopting those kids? I'm just curious. Now I really don't believe that this is a good faith criticism. In what way does building this orphanage stop people from adopting these kids? The charity stressed that there was no suggestion of wrongdoing. Well, it sure sounds like it at that particular orphanage, but pointed to evidence that shows 80% of the 5.4 million children confined in orphanages today aren't actually orphans, but have family who could care for them. So again, families are adopting these children or abandoning these children, and that's MrBeast's fault. Is the implication that certainly the same loving parents that would throw their child away, even though they clearly have means, according to them, they would just raise that kid and love them if they didn't have the option to throw them in the garbage can? Is that what the implication is? I'm sure that there are parents that make very difficult decisions to give up their children. But if the claim that 80% of these kids have families that could both financially and emotionally support them, then perhaps, and the parents still choose, to give up their kids, perhaps there's a problem with the parents. Campaigners say a majority of the children who grow up in such institutions suffer neglect and are more likely to become homeless later in life. Well, they don't have a home anyway. If you're an orphan, I'm not exactly sure how you could become homeless. You're already homeless. Again, I understand that the long-term better solution here would be to rehome, but where are all the people lining up to adopt these children? And where are they going to stay in the meantime? If the implication is that they believe that the parents who are willingly giving up their kids, even though they could support them, would instead keep them if there were no orphanage to take them, how does that situation sound for the kid? Charities including Hope and Homes and the Lumos Foundation, of which J.K. Rowling is president, wrote to MrBeast's team in March to make a point after his video appealing for donations to save the orphanage hit 15 million views. Hope and Homes said they did not receive a response, so they're not entitled to one. On August, MrBeast uploaded the new video, "We Adopted an Orphanage," which claims his venture Beast Philanthropy had saved the orphanage from closure after 6 months of tireless work, in which his team built 12 new homes, provided an ongoing supply of fresh food, and repaired its dilapidated playground. It claimed the orphanage had previously saved around 5,000 lives. The video featuring the heartwarming story of the orphanage founder, Mama Rosie, who was led blindfolded to her newly renovated project before the big unveil, leaves her close to tears. Many orphanages across the world Alumo said in a statement that although Mama Rosie's orphanage appeared well-intentioned, it was not the case for all institutions. Okay, wait now. So the critics are saying this orphanage is actually good and doesn't have any history of bad behavior, but MrBeast still shouldn't have done it? Now, I have no doubt that there are orphanages out there that take advantage of kids and finances and all this kind of stuff. Of course. So they said, hey, maybe, you don't do this. But then when you layer in halfway down the article, oh, by the way, this orphanage doesn't have any history of bad behavior, has no claims of bad behavior. In fact, this person's really good. What do you're just pretending to be outraged? Many orphanages across the world are set up to take advantage of kids for profit. No kidding. By promoting orphanages, promoting them, I don't think he's promoting them. Even well-intentioned ones, we promote the work of those who are not, continuing to add to the cycle of exploitation that you're at. What? This logic is perhaps the dumbest I've come across. These kids need homes. Some orphanages are bad. We admit that this orphanage is not bad. MrBeast makes it better, and we're still mad about it. Because other orphanages are bad. He shouldn't fix this good orphanage because other orphanages are bad. Are you kidding me? Of course, this is not the first time MrBeast, whose real name is Jimmy Donaldson, has been accused of being kind for clicks. That's fine. It doesn't matter. As long as both people are helped, what does it matter? You think the kids living in that orphanage gave a crap that MrBeast got X million dollars of views now that they have fresh food and a clean place to play and live? Of course, back in January, he's blasted over a video on his channel showing how he helped scores of blind people from the United States across the world remove their cataracts with the help of a not-for-profit organization. Critics accuse him of using their suffering to increase his wealth and fame. Okay, fine. You go ahead and ask any one of these people who he cured. I'm through his money cured, I'll say. Okay, he didn't do the procedures. You ask any of these people who couldn't see before and now can see if they care that MrBeast made some money on the video. Do you think any of them believe that? No. His motives may not be as pure as Jesus himself, okay? But the idea that these people whom he is helping are somehow unhelped because he gets, popular YouTube videos from it is absurd. How do you think he funds all these things? You think he makes money on every single video? No, of course not. Just another ridiculous criticism of MrBeast, which is only going to get worse and worse because, people need articles. People need to be outraged. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, subscribe down below. We'll talk to you again real soon.